Good morning, Brownsville. Good afternoon, good evening, depending on when you're watching this feed. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Frankie Olivo. Our program focuses on the very important issues that are affecting our local community. We have shed light on injustices and we have allowed for our platform, this mic, to be that of the voice of the people. Now, if this is something that you can see yourself supporting, we ask that you like, comment, and share this live feed. Now, as of late, our Facebook page is at risk of being taken down. The powers that be do not want you, the voter, to know the truth. But remember, we will not be silenced. Now, if you're really about the cause and you want to stand up to corruption and you want to hold our elected leaders accountable and those in leadership positions accountable, well, we ask that you subscribe to our social media platforms. Currently, right now, this program is being streamed live on X, formerly known as Twitter, and on Facebook. You can find us under Frankie Olivo. Also, make sure to follow our personal page on Facebook. We could be found under Olivo Frankie. But more importantly, if you haven't already, we ask that you create a Gmail account, go to YouTube, and subscribe, like, and follow our channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. Remember, Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. religiously. So make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. Remember, Brownsville, I will never ever ask you for money. I will never ever ask you for food. Well, depends what you're making. All I ask is something very simple of my community. Go to our social media platforms and subscribe. Subscribe on X, subscribe on Face, and more importantly, subscribe on YouTube. Always remember, Brownsville, we will never, ever be silenced. And we are forever grateful to each and every one of you for the time and attention that you provide us. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. How we doing, chat? How we doing? Happy Friday, the day that we all anticipately awaits. Is it just me, or whenever I wake up on Monday morning, I'm like, oh, goodness gracious, one day closer to Friday. Well, here it is, ladies and gentlemen. I hope each and every one of you have a great end of your week, a good start to your weekend. Let's make the best of it. As many of you are aware, and maybe for those that are just tuning in, our program, Good Morning Brownsville, focuses on important issues that are affecting the city of Brownsville, Cameron County, and South Texas. We dedicate Monday through Friday to talk about those very important issues. On Monday to Thursday, Monday to Thursday, we dedicate that the 9 a.m. time slot to discuss those issues. On Fridays, we decided to switch it up a bit. We previously focused heavily on sports. We had a sports channel, Sports Talk, and many people. It's back by popular demand. Many people question and ask, hey, we like what you do with the politics program, but would you consider bringing back sports? And I said, yeah, of course. It just never dawned on me that I think it would be a good fit to have the sports talk show on Fridays. Get us ready for the weekend. So for those that aren't aware, every Friday from here on out, we will be dedicating our show to everything that involves sports. We're going to talk about college, NFL, baseball, tennis, everything with the exception of possibly lacrosse. So make sure that you tune in every Friday, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel on YouTube titled Frankie Olivo TV. Thank you so much for that. A lot of controversy has arisen as of late. The NFL did announce that Bad Bunny will be performing at the halftime show in this upcoming Super Bowl. Many people have criticized this star being the one that's going to be viewed by millions. And it is no secret that the Super Bowl is one of the highest ratings in sports entertainment. When we think of, I would dare say that it's one of the biggest besides the World Cup. And Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl would be a monumental event in music and in sports history. Uh, there is no question. This artist is one of the most influential Latino artists of our generation. His presence on the Super Bowl halftime stage would celebrate global impact on reggaeton, Latin trap. He's known for his high energy performances, his bold fashion, his genre blending hits. There's no question that Bad Bunny could electrify the stadium with chart toppers like Titi me preguntó si tengo otra novia, hey, otra novia, y yo perreo sola. It brings a combination of both Spanish and non-speaking audiences together. His performance, it could not only reflect the increasing diversity of mainstream entertainment, but it could also solidify Latin music's powerful role in shaping the culture that is of music entertainment. The scary thing about this is that, well, there's always controversy. There's always controversy whenever we have these artists. Last year it was Kendrick Lamar, and Kendrick Lamar was placed on at the Super Bowl because of what had transpired as of this past year. For those that aren't aware, Kendrick Lamar had a rap battle, a feud with Drake. It was one of the most followed, most controversial beefs in rap history, and it garnered a lot of attention. Many people argue that that is the only reason why. That is the only reason why Kendrick Lamar made it to the halftime show. It was in New Orleans. Many people criticized that they would have preferred to have seen Lil Wayne, who is a Nolens native. While many people are in favor of seeing such a glamorous Latino artist perform at the halftime show, which is Bad Bunny, it has come with some controversy. Bad Bunny has been critical of this current administration. A member of the Trump administration did say that ICE agents will be present at the Super Bowl and at Bad Bunny's halftime show. They're quoted as saying, there is nowhere you can provide safe haven to people who are in this country illegally. Lewandowski, the Trump advisor, did call it shameful that the Puerto Rican rapper was chosen to give the Super Bowl halftime performance. Now, Bad Bunny previously opted to skip touring the U.S. out of fear that ICE would target his concerts. So this event, the Super Bowl, while it's not usually political, now it's being politicized on the national level. The United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents will be present at the 2026 Super Bowl halftime show. And during a performance on October the 1st, Lewandowski did make the statement that this is a very real situation in which is contrary to how it used to be. Bad Bunny has been critical of this administration. He has not toured in the United States. The Puerto Rican musician Bad Bunny is actual name is Benito Antonio Martinez Ocasio. He was confirmed as the headliner that will be performing at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California on February the 8th, 2026. And it is no question that he is a world superstar. This past week, Bad Bunny did state that he's really excited for his friends and his family, and more importantly, for his native land, which is Puerto Rico. Maybe this is a way for more eyeballs from all over the world. And football is a sport that is followed by millions. We have seen how the NFL is targeting countries overseas. Just last week, we had, good morning. Just last week, we had the Minnesota Vikings play in Dublin, Ireland, and previously we have seen how the NFL is. They started off the season opener for the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Chargers. They opened up in Brazil. They're starting to target countries overseas who possibly football is not well known. The main sport, there's no arguing, is football, soccer. So maybe this is a way for the NFL to target a certain audience, because the purpose of the NFL is always to grow, and it's important for the league to try and get as many eyeballs. Maybe this is something that that he has that they are focusing on. So this is going to be very interesting moving forward. What does the community feel about this artist? Many people are critical of him performing. People such as Danica Patrick has stated that he should not be allowed to perform. That him not being vocal against law enforcement agents, that is a bad message. And we have seen the uproar that has caused as of late because of deportations. Just a few months ago, the McAllen airport that houses the Border Patrol station next door was attacked. In Dallas, just last week, we saw how a sniper on the roof shot at ICE agents and unfortunately eliminated several people. There is no question that there is people out there that are radicalized and that are insinuating violence against our law enforcement officials, our federal agents. At the end of the day, they are just doing their job. So this essentially is causing even more controversy. It's causing people to question, why is the NFL doing this? This is an artist that is not performing in the U.S. because of his own personal issues with ICE. He doesn't want his fans to be targeted. He has been critical of this administration. Is that a bad look where the NFL is rubbing it into this administration at the White House? One would dare argue and say, we don't really care about what is happening. This isn't political. This is more about music entertainment. And those people that are avid fans that do try to stay away from politics, they say, "Hey, I'm watching a game. I don't want to be fed anything to do with politics." So, one of the biggest headliners in the music entertainment industry, Bad Bunny, will be performing at this upcoming Super Bowl at Levi Stadium in California, in Santa Clara, California, in February. What's going to happen? Are we going to see how ICE is going to actively be monitoring and following and detaining people that aren't allowed there? It's going to be very interesting moving forward. While many people don't like to deal with politics whenever we talk about sports, and again, it's always sports on Friday, but this is kind of intertwined with politics. Just interesting stuff. Yesterday we did have the end of the Major League wildcard games. And now we officially have the potential teams that could be playing in the World Series. Yesterday, we had the Chicago Cubs defeat the San Diego Padres 2-0, and they advanced to meet their division rival in the Milwaukee Brewers. This game is set for Saturday. This game is set for Saturday. Yes, Saturday, October the 4th. Our first game will be the Chicago Cubs versus the Milwaukee Brewers at 1:08 p.m. It will be televised on TBS. The Brewers did have the most wins in the major leagues this year. 96. They were just short of the remarkable 100-win mark. As of right now, the Milwaukee Brewers are the best team in the league. They have shown how they have a complete team from a great starting lineup and great relievers. And in the majors, you need pitching. You need relievers to get you out of pickles. These games are the best of 5. The wild card games that just passed were a best of 3. These games, whoever wins this game is like, this is the quarterfinals. The next game is the semifinals, and if you win that next series, you go to the World Series. I have the Milwaukee Brewers winning this game in 4 games. I have it 3-1. I have it 3-1. Them winning in 4 games. The New York Yankees last night did defeat the Boston Red Sox, their division rivals, 4-0, and they did advance to play against the number 1 team in the AL East, the Toronto Blue Jays. The Yankees, even though they are ranked lower than the Blue Jays, they are favored. They are favored to win in game 1. The spread for this game is New York -125, with the over/under being 7.5. I do have the Blue Jays winning this series. I wouldn't be surprised if they win in a sweep. While I am an avid fan of the New York Yankees, it seems as if when it counts the most, they don't have what it takes. If they would have kept a player such as Juan Soto, it would have been hard to argue against them. And I like the Toronto Blue Jays in this series. The Toronto Blue Jays do have a phenomenal team. When you talk about players such as Vladimir Guerrero Jr., LeMahieu, who else is on there? Vivas, Clement. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting moving forward because it's going to show the dynamics behind the Toronto Blue Jays. Who can forget George Springer, who used to play for the Houston Astros? He is the leadoff hitter for the Toronto Blue Jays. The Toronto Blue Jays have overall, from top to bottom, the better team. When you talk about Springer, Guerrero, Santander, Clement, I like them over the Yankees. Now, it's no secret that the Yankees have been competitive as of late. Who can forget that they do have Aaron Judge? But can they compete with the Toronto Blue Jays? I dare say no. When you look at the New York Yankees starting lineup, is Grisham, Judge, Bellinger, Stanton, Rice, Rosario, Chisholm, Volpe, and Wells. I would dare say, and I will go on the limb as saying that the New York Yankees will get swept. Again, I am a New York Yankee fan, but I do have the Toronto Blue Jays advancing to to clinch the pennant. Switching over to the National League, the Dodgers will travel to the LA Dodgers will travel to Philadelphia. The Dodgers are favored to win in the first game. I have the Dodgers winning. I have the Dodgers winning it all. Um, Overall, they just have a complete team from top to bottom. Shohei Ohtani is leading the way, and there is no question that he is. He's won multiple MVPs, and if it wasn't for the Mariners' first baseman Rawling, he would possibly win a third. When you look at the Dodgers lineup from Ohtani to Betts, Freeman, Hernandez, just the top four in the lineup, solid lineup. And then when you go to the bottom half of the lineup, they have Muncy, Bagues, Hernandez, Rojas. It's just a solid team. And when you talk about their rotation, there's no question. The Dodgers, you could make the argument that they have the best starting pitching. In this game, Shohei Ohtani will lead off for the Dodgers. When you talk about who's also there, Yamamoto, Snail, Enriquez. It's just there's no question that the Dodgers have from top to bottom a solid team. I do have the Dodgers winning this in. It could possibly go to 5. The Philadelphia Phillies are a complete team as well. There is no question that is the reason why they finished top in their division. They clinched the NL East, and they also had an impressive season with 96 victories, 96 wins this past season. It's going to be an interesting matchup moving forward. When you think of the Philadelphia Phillies, there's no question that they are a team that should be considered for a potential World Series bid. When you talk about players such as Schwarber, Harper, Marsh, Realmuto, Castellanos, Scott, Sosa, they're solid. So in this series, while I have the LA Dodgers advancing to try and clinch the NL pennant, I do have it in a close series. I could see it going to 5 games, but I do have the Dodgers winning this series 3-2. The next matchup, the Tigers did defeat the Cleveland Indians. Or are they the Indians no more? To me, they're the Indians. They did beat them yesterday, and they will face off with the Seattle Mariners. The Seattle Mariners are heavily favored to win this series moving forward. I have an upset in this series. I do like the Tigers. I like the head coach, and when you look at their lineup, it's a very interesting lineup. While the Seattle Mariners are favored to win big in Game 1, they are favored, according to Vegas. They're minus 200, meaning that they're going to get blown out. Now, whenever we see these numbers, one could make the argument, well, they just had a competitive. They just had a competitive wild card series against the Cleveland Indians. Cleveland Guardians. Their pitching was they threw Skubal, who won the first game. He had 14 strikeouts. Will he be ready for Game 1? Possibly not. Usually, the way it works is the pitchers in the major leagues they tend to rest 5 days. Now, again, whenever they're in the playoffs, we do see pitchers, we do see relievers. Starting pitchers possibly go into the reliever role for certain key situations, and possibly and once you make it to the playoffs, you don't have that rest time that you usually have during the season. I have an upset in this series. I have the Detroit Tigers beating the Mariners I will dare say that the Tigers will win 3 games and the Mariners will win 1. I'm going to go against Vegas. So I have the Brewers beating the Cubs and advancing. I have the Dodgers beating the Phillies in the series and advancing. Between the Dodgers and the Brewers, I have the Dodgers winning the pennant and going to the World Series. The Yankees and the Blue Jays, I have the Blue Jays beating the Yankees. I have the Detroit Tigers beating the Mariners. Between Toronto and Detroit, I have the Blue Jays. I have the Blue Jays winning the pennant and playing in the World Series against the Dodgers. I don't think they will win because, again, the Dodgers, in my opinion, have a more complete team in all of baseball. So I do have the Dodgers and the Blue Jays facing off in the World Series. Anything can happen, but I like the Dodgers moving forward. Yesterday kicked off another week of the NFL, Week 5. We saw the underdogs. For those individuals that didn't catch yesterday's game, it was a very entertaining game, very unexpected game as well. The San Francisco 49ers did defeat the LA Rams 26-23 in overtime. It was impressive because the 49ers, they were favored to lose in this game. The odds were stacked against them. The Los Angeles Rams were favored to win by 8.5. The over-under for this game was 43.5, 44, depending on when you secured that bet or what casino had those numbers. So San Francisco had a comfortable spread, which by halftime it was apparent that they had control of the game. And this victory was impressive because San Francisco had numerous injuries. When you talk about Brock Purdy, when you talk about the receiving corps, again, Mac Jones has been a journeyman. He was drafted out of Alabama in the first round by the New England Patriots. Many expected him, kind of funny, many expected him to take over and regain prominence, the glory days of Tom Brady. We saw how he went to Jacksonville. He was dismal. And then we saw how he has excelled in the Mike Shanahan offense, Kyle Shanahan offense. It's impressive because Kyle Shanahan has had a history of developing quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo, who he brought from New England, while he was a subpar quarterback, he led the 49ers to a Super Bowl. Mac Jones, Brock Purdy, these aren't A-list, highly touted, highly recruited out of college, first-round picks, studs, quarterbacks that many thought, well, with the exception of Mac Jones, that many thought they were going to lead teams to Super Bowl or lead teams to multiple double-digit victories. While that was the expectation for Mac Jones, we saw how he floundered in New England. He floundered in Jacksonville. Is Kyle Shanahan the quarterback guru who he doesn't need a superstar under center? Because his offense is very dynamic. Again, it's hard to argue whenever you have Christian McCaffrey in the backfield, a dynamic running back, when healthy, in your backfield. But this victory by the 49ers, a division rival, was very, very impressive because they have at least 4 or 5 injuries in key positions. George Kittle also comes to mind. Ayuke, the wide receiver that just signed a multi-million-dollar deal, is still dealing with a knee injury. He's still in the IR. So for the 49ers to be 4-1, beating the division rival, beating a team in which they were favored to lose big. Again, the spread was 8.5. Was a very, very impressive victory in LA. We will be having a game overseas, ladies and gentlemen. If you weren't aware, last week in the NFL, we did have the Minnesota Vikings and the Pittsburgh Steelers did play in Dublin, Ireland, and this was an impressive a game that was watched by the world. Again, we have seen how the NFL is starting to branch out. There's even talks of a potential team um, outside of the United States. Are we going to have an expansion team in the next, I don't know, 10, 20 years? Maybe this is the way for the NFL to gauge, where they could potentially bring a new NFL franchise. So last week, the NFL was in Dublin with the Minnesota Vikings and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This week, this Sunday, the Minnesota Vikings have stayed overseas and they'll be facing the Cleveland Browns in London. And I love these games because if you take a look at the screen, we will be having the an NFL game bright and early at 8:30 a.m. And I love it whenever I don't know how your Sundays are, ladies and gentlemen, but I try and get everything done. People go to church early. They go out to eat with their families. Sundays is usually a family day, right? Usually I do everything from 8 to 11:30, 11, and I make sure that from 12 to 10, I'm not doing nothing. Don't call me, don't text me, because I am thrown on the couch all day. So for teams to play in the overseas and start the game at 8:30, well, Franquito's going to be on the couch posted all day, from 8:30 to 10, chingo. Not doing a damn thing, being a couch potato. And this is going to be a very interesting game because the Browns have benched their starting quarterback, Joe Flacco, and they will turn to rookie quarterback Dylan Gabriel. And the Cleveland Browns have been an interesting team ever since they drafted Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel. We have seen the history that the Cleveland Browns have had in recent time, where they drafted controversial players such as Johnny Manziel. They drafted Baker Mayfield. Many people have questioned the direction in which the Cleveland Browns are going, especially after they drafted Dylan Gabriel out of Oregon in the 3rd round, only for them to draft Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado in the 5th round. There was this finger pointing from the owner, Haslam, to his GM and head coach, saying, I didn't want Shedeur Sanders. Many people have questioned whether Shedeur Sanders was blackballed by the league. For those that aren't aware, Shedeur Sanders is the son of Deion Sanders of primetime. Could teams possibly want to avoid the circus that Shedeur Sanders brings, the attention, the eyeballs? For selling jerseys, he is in the top 5, top 10 when it comes to jersey sales. But is this something that the team does not want? Shedeur Sanders is not a perennial superstar. It was evident, because if not, he would have been drafted in the first 3 rounds. Possibly many people are saying that there's a slap in the face to him because, well, someone like Dylan Gabriel, who did have success in Oregon, was drafted over him. Many people also were critical of Shedeur Sanders because whenever they asked him of what he was going to, how he felt about not being picked to be the starting quarterback when they sat Joe Flacco down, many people didn't like his antics. They were asking him a question and he wasn't even answering them.
Vocally.
He wasn't being vocal. He was just being a, what is it?
Showing yourself in
A mime? Or what's that guy that does is it a mime? A mink? No, I don't know, mink. A mime? A guy that has his face painted, but he doesn't talk. Whenever they're asking him questions, the reporters, whenever they're asking him questions and saying, "Hey, how do you feel? You're the third listed quarterback, and you're not even being considered for the starting role to play overseas against the Minnesota Vikings." He wasn't even answering. He wasn't speaking. Many people have said, "You see, this is the circus that we wanted to avoid. This is somebody that we don't need." And reporters were asking him, "Be vocal." And he was saying, "Hey, I am." He wasn't
Enjoying
talking.
yourself and having fun.
So while the reporters were saying, "You see, this is why the Cleveland Browns didn't want to bring this circus." You had people such as Chad Ochocinco and Shannon Sharp make the argument that, well, he's doing this because whatever he says, he's going to be criticized by the league, by reporters. That reporters always misconstrue, and they misconstrue what the athletes say. The athletes are always, I'm misunderstood. Is this going to lead to controversy? Many people questioned that he is a diva. He is a lot like his father, Deion. And while Deion Sanders, who was a superstar, many people allowed that to happen because of his talent. Many people are saying Shedeur Sanders hasn't reached that yet. He's not able to do those antics just yet. So, how is Dylan Gabriel going to fare in his first game as a rookie, playing overseas against the Minnesota Vikings, who have a decent defense? Is he going to be able to lead the Browns to victory? Is this a game to where they're going to evaluate him? And who's to say that if he's struggling late into the third, fourth quarter, could we potentially see Shedeur Sanders on the field? Possibly. I don't think we will see him, but depending on how Dylan Gabriel does on Sunday, we might see Shedeur Sanders in his first NFL game. The Minnesota Vikings are favored to win by 3.5. I do have them covering. And look at the over-under. The over-under is 36. It's as if they're begging you. It's as if they're begging you to bet on the over. Vegas has this as a low-scoring game. It's hard. It's hard to bet against the over in this game. Again, I do have the Minnesota Vikings beating the Cleveland Browns covering, and I do have this game going over 36.5. The Las Vegas Raiders will travel to Indianapolis and face the Colts. The Colts, according to Vegas, are favored to win big by 7. The over-under is 48. Now, I do like the Vegas Raiders. I have them covering this game. Geno Smith has struggled as of late at the start of this short season. In 4 or 5 games, he already has seven interceptions. While the rookie Genti, it seems as if he will be the superstar out of Boise State that many anticipated him to be. In 4 games, he has rushed for 282 yards with 2 touchdowns. And what's impressive is their lack of chemistry. That has impressed me the most, because I would think that Geno Smith, being a veteran, would be able to take more command of the offense. They did start the season on a hot note, but as of late, Geno Smith has been a turnover machine. I do like the Raiders against the Colts. I do have them covering the spread. Again, whenever you give an NFL team +7, a touchdown, yesterday the Niners were plus or -8.5. I like the Raiders covering this spread, and I wouldn't even be surprised if they if they end up beating the Colts. I'm scared of the over-under. I got the under in this game. The Giants will travel to Nolens. They will face Spencer Rattler and the New Orleans Saints. What's going to be interesting about this game is that Jackson Dart, will be starting for all intents and purposes. We did see how they were able to win last week against the LA Chargers, which was an impressive victory. Again, the New York Giants were the underdogs, and they're the underdogs again against the New Orleans Saints. I like the New York Giants. I have them covering the spread. I have them winning this game. I'm not a big believer in Spencer Rattler. While he has managed to protect the football, he does have 765 yards in 4 games with 5 touchdowns and 1 interception. He does have 9 sacks. So I do have the Giants in this game. I do have them covering the spread and winning the game. The Cowboys will travel and face the New York Jets. The Cowboys are favored to win by 2.5. They are coming off of a heartbreak, I would say. They had the chance to secure the victory against the Green Bay Packers if it wasn't for a late hiccup, so to speak, from the Green Bay Packers, where they threw for a potential touchdown and it left the clock with 1 or 2 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. The Cowboys do go and face the Giants with a 1-win, 2-loss, and 1-tie record. I do have the Cowboys winning this game. The New York Jets are trying to find themselves as a team. I am a big believer in Justin Fields. I like what Coach Glenn will bring to this team in the near future. It is a competitive spirit. We saw that evident when he was a former player. We saw that when he was a defensive coordinator with the Detroit Lions. But I like the Cowboys, not just because I'm a Cowboys fan, but when you really look at Dak Prescott, he's been able to have a decent start to the season. He has eclipsed the 1,000 passing yards in 4 games. He does have 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Also, the starting running back, Williams, has 4 touchdowns and 300 yards. Sanders is suffering. Is dealing with a injury. I do like the Cowboys. I do have the Cowboys winning big in this game. Would I be surprised if Justin Fields keeps it close in the third quarter? Possibly. Having a dual threat quarterback is very difficult on any defensive scheme, on any defensive coordinator. But while we do have a horrible secondary, I do think that our front seven will hold and contain Justin Fields. And I do have hope that Dak Prescott, who has been impressive, we are without CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens, when he's focused, him and Turpin and Ferguson are able to produce when needed. So I have the Cowboys winning this game. The Broncos will travel to Philadelphia. This is a very interesting game because Philly is only favored to win by 3.5. While the Denver Broncos have a phenomenal defense, I do like what I see out of Bo Nix, their quarterback, and their offense. I have the Eagles winning big. I like them at home. I like their offense. Their defense is solid. The defending champs, I have them winning big against the Broncos. I would go with the over. The over for this game is 43 and a half. The Miami Dolphins did secure their first victory last week, and they will be traveling to Carolina. Miami is favored to win by 1.5. I do like them, even though they lost Tyreek Hill to a gruesome knee injury. I do like the Dolphins. Again, this team is all about Tua. If Tua is on, he's lights out. And I don't mean from his concussions. Again, when he's on, he's phenomenal. Achen's is a awesome running back. They have Waller, the tight end, who previously retired from the New York Giants. He, gained prominence with the Oakland Raiders, now Las Vegas Raiders. He had an impressive game last week with 2 touchdowns. Are they going to count on him to fill in for Tyreek Hill's absence moving forward? I would dare say yes. I like the Dolphins over the Panthers. The Texans will travel to Baltimore, and surprisingly, the Texans are favored to win this game, and this is because Lamar Jackson could potentially be sidelined with an injury. The Ravens are dealing with multiple injuries, especially to their defense on the defensive side. The Texans, for whatever reason, everyone thought that in C.J. Stroud's second and third year would blossom into this great quarterback that many anticipate he would be. He has struggled. While I do have the Texans winning this game, I don't think they'll be competitive in the AFC South. The Ravens, without the services of Lamar Jackson, they aren't the offense that they're accustomed to have, because whenever we talk about King Henry in the backfield, they're going to stack the box because they know that they don't have Lamar out there. So I have the Texans winning this game and covering the spread. The over-under, I would dare go with the over in this game. The winless Titans travel to Arizona, where they face Kyle Murray. The Arizona Cardinals are favored to win big by 7.5. Again, it's any given Sunday. It's hard for me to bet against an NFL team with a spread such as 7.5. While I do have the Cardinals winning this game, I have the Titans covering the spread, keeping it close. Their rookie quarterback Ward has struggled, but nobody expects him to have, the season such as other phenomenal rookies have had. The Titans are struggling. I do have them keeping it close late into the fourth quarter. Ultimately, I have the Cardinals winning, but the Titans covering the spread. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers will travel to Seattle and face the Seahawks. The Seahawks at home are favored to win by 3.5. The over-under is 44.5. I like Baker. Mayfield, Bucky Irvin will be sidelined. He won't play on Sunday. There are questions in regards to Mike Evans. Will he be in the lineup? They hit it big in their draft with the second, third round receiver, Ogupa. Phenomenal talent. I have the underdog in this game. I like Baker Mayfield. He's a gunslinger. I have them beating the Seahawks and covering the spread. The late afternoon games, we have Detroit traveling to Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow is still sidelined with a turf injury. We have Detroit winning this game. According to Vegas, Vegas has Detroit winning big. They have the spread being 10.5. The over/under being 49. The reason why this game is such high, the point total is high, is because of the Detroit Lions. They have a phenomenal offense. While you might call me a hypocrite, but while I always tend to err on the side of caution whenever I see a big spread, especially in the NFL. The Lions are different. The Lions are different because they have a decent defense and they have a phenomenal top 5, top 10 offense. Jared Goff, Gibbs, Amon St. Brown. So I do have them winning this game, and I do have them covering the spread in this one. I know what you're going to say. You always say that you always take the points. Yes, but not in this game. The Washington Commanders, the Washington Redskins, will be traveling to LA and face the Chargers. The Chargers are favored to win by 3 points. The over-under is 47. The Commanders, the Redskins, they will be without Deebo Samuel. He hasn't been practicing. Many insiders have stated that he will not practice. He will not practice today, and he will not play on Sunday, which is big because we saw how Eckler, the running back, is gone for the season with an injury. Deebo Samuel is dealing with an injury. You're taking away weapons from Daniels. So I do have the Chargers bouncing back from their lackluster performance against the New York Giants. I do have the Chargers winning this game. I think it's going to be a close game, so I have the Chargers covering the spread and the over-under 47 being under. The New England Patriots do travel to their division rival, the Buffalo Bills. Buffalo Bills are favored to win by 8.5. By 8, I apologize. And the over-under is 49.5. While I do have the Bills winning this game, I have the Patriots keeping it close. A division rival. I like what I see from New England. I have them keeping it close, but I have the Buffalo Bills, led by Josh Allen, being victorious in this game. To round up week 5 of the NFL, we have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to Jacksonville. Kansas City is favored to win by 3.5. I'm going to go with the underdog. I haven't been impressed with Kansas City. They do have Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy back. I still haven't seen Travis Kelce be the superstar that we all know that he is. I'm a big believer in Jacksonville. While many people have questioned whether Trevor Lawrence is the future of Jacksonville, I like the underdog in this game. I like Jacksonville covering the spread. The over-under for this game is 46.5. I'll take the over. Take the over on this game. The Ohio State Buckeyes do round the NCAA football top 25. And this season, this week is going to be, it's going to highlight very impressive matchups moving forward. And week 6 of the NCAA football, it often brings a turning point in the NFL because, well, matchups stiffening. Conference races, they take shape. And the unpredictability is rarely in short supply. Ranked teams are increasingly vulnerable, and upsets loom as underdogs sense opportunity. There are many interesting matchups lined up for this week. Again, very quickly to discuss the top 20, we have Ohio number 1, Oregon 2, Miami, who's been very impressive this season, ranked number 3, Mississippi, Ole Miss. They did beat LSU this past Saturday, which bumped them up to number 4. Oklahoma has been, they had a bye last week. They do have their quarterback, Mater, out with a hand injury. And look at Texas A&M. Impressive 4-0 start to their season. Penn State, Indiana, Texas, and Alabama round up the top 10. So we have 3 Texas teams. We have Tech, Texas, and A&M in the top 11, which is very, very impressive. We have the game tonight. We have BYU will be hosting West Virginia. BYU is favored to win big by 20 points. I will have West Virginia keeping it close, covering the spread. I have BYU winning this game. The over-under is 46.5. Georgia did lose last week against Alabama. And it says here that the win garnered over 10 million views, which is very, very impressive. They have the Kentucky Wildcats traveling to the Georgia Dome. Georgia is favored to win by 3 touchdowns. I don't feel as if Georgia defense has been dominant this year. We're used to seeing them being lights out. having a shutdown defense in previous years whenever they won multiple championships. Are we beginning to see the decline of this program? Well, it's still early to state that. I do like Georgia beating Kentucky. I do have it close though. Iowa State, undefeated, is favored to lose against Cincinnati according to Vegas. The spread is Cincinnati -1. I do have Ohio State winning this game against Cincinnati. Wisconsin Badgers do travel to face the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan is favored to win by 17.5. I do like Michigan in this game. Wisconsin has taken a step back in the Big Ten conference this year for whatever reason. I do have Michigan win this game. I don't have them covering the spread. Illinois will travel to Purdue and face the Boilermakers. They are favored to win by 9.5. I have this a close game. While I do have Illinois beating Purdue Boilermakers, I have Purdue covering the spread. Penn State is coming off a heartbreaking loss in overtime against the Oregon Ducks. They travel to the Coliseum to face the UCLA Bruins. They are favored to win big. UCLA. I have Penn State covering this spread. The interesting game for us here locally is UT. UT will travel to the Swamp and face the Florida Gators. UT is favored to win this game by 5.5. We expect UT to come out on top, but how is Arch Manning going to perform in the Swamp? The Swamp is going to be loud. This is an SEC game. Would we be shocked if Arch isn't able to secure the victory in Gainesville? I don't think I would. Many people have questioned whether he is the future of the UT program, if he's the future of the NFL. Many have questioned his mechanics moving forward. Many people have even stated, he hasn't been lights out against lesser talent. And UT, on the defensive side, they are stacked. They are stacked. So how are they going to fare against Florida? I would not be shocked if UT loses this game. It all depends on how Arch Manning reacts to the Swamp. Another SEC division rival that we have is Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt will travel to Alabama and face the Tide. Alabama is favored to win by 10.5, with the over-under being a high-scoring game with 55.5. I do have Alabama winning. I do have Vanderbilt keeping it close. Would I be surprised if Vanderbilt wins? No. But I do have Vanderbilt keeping this game close and them covering the spread. Boise State will travel to it's not Chapel Hill. We'll travel to Notre Dame. Notre Dame is favored to win by 21. The over-under is 62.5. I do have Notre Dame winning this game big. I do have the over 62.5. Virginia will travel to Lexington and face off the Louisville Cardinals. While Louisville is favored to win by 6.5, I'm going to go with the upset. I like the Cavaliers. I like Virginia. I like them on the road. They are a ranked team. While Louisville is undefeated, I'll go ahead and put my money on the underdog, which is Virginia. Kent State will travel to Norman and face the Oklahoma Sooners. Oklahoma is favored to win big by 45.5. I would dare say that while Oklahoma is going to win, I don't think they're going to cover the spread in this game. An in-state rival, Texas Tech, will travel to Houston and face the Cougars. Texas Tech is favored to win by 11.5, and this is a battle of undefeated. The over-under for this game is 52.5. I do have Tech winning this game big, possibly by 2, maybe 3, by 3 scores. The Minnesota Gophers will travel to Buckeye Stadium where they face Ohio State, the number 1 ranked team. Ohio State is favored to win by 23.5. I have Minnesota keeping it close. I have them covering the spread. I didn't like what I saw last week from the Buckeyes when they faced the Washington Huskies on the road. The Huskies, unranked team, they kept it close. I expect the same for the Minnesota Gophers, of keeping it close, of covering the spread of 23.5 points. Now, this to me is the game to watch. I have a bet with one of my friends. He is a diehard Tallahassee, Florida State, Seminole fan, diehard fan. And while they lost last week, this should be a very interesting matchup when they face the number 3 ranked Miami Hurricanes. Miami is favored to win by 4.5. I would have them. The Miami Hurricanes have been phenomenal. Again, they have a solid team on both sides of the ball. And I do have Miami winning big. Last week, Florida State losing kind of let us know what they're all about. Everybody was very impressed. We were all impressed of how they started their season with a victory against Alabama. So I have Miami winning this game. Again, I was shocked when I saw them struggle against Virginia. Virginia did beat FSU 38-46. Miami has, with the exception of their opener against Notre Dame, has blown out all the teams that they have faced so far. So I do have the Miami Hurricanes beating the Florida State Seminoles and covering the spread. Mississippi State, this rounds off the top 25 matchup. Mississippi State does travel to Texas A&M Aggie Stadium. Aggies are favored to win big by 15.5. Again, I have the Aggies winning this game. I just have Mississippi State. I apologize. Mississippi State covering the spread in regards to this game. The Vaqueros did suffer their first defeat last game against a Louisiana team, Southeast Louisiana, 31-45. They are going to face tomorrow. They have a matchup against the Houston Christian Huskies, who are 1-3. Again, for being the start of the program, they have impressed the Valley, the community, the program itself. They have been a phenomenal team as of to the start of their new season. I have the Vaqueros winning big and bouncing back from their loss. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, every Friday we'll be having sports talk. Thank you to each and every one of you that tuned in. We will be covering high school football as well. We have been asked to talk about who or what coaches are on the hot seat. So we'll be studying the different programs that we have here in the city of Brownsville and talk about, who we feel should be on the hot seat moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. Best believe Good Morning Brownsville will come on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m., sometimes a little bit after, religiously. So if you haven't already, make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel titled Frankie Olivo TV. My name is Frankie, and this is Good Morning Brownsville Sports Talks version. Every Friday at 9 a.m. Peace. Have a great weekend. Mm.